So here's our scratch here on the sail panel. It is not too deep, and generally the rule is when you're polishing, if you can catch it with your fingernail, then it's not going to polish out. This one here you could sort of catch just along that style line, so I'm a bit concerned on how much of this scratch I can actually get out. So we're going to have a go at it and start sanding it down here first with some 1500 grit sandpaper. Now you want to try and use a block here whenever possible, but I find sometimes on the style lines you need to switch it up and either use your fingers or use something a little smaller to level out the scratch. Now there's a very fine line between sanding too little and too much. So if you sand too much, you're going to go right through the clear into the base coat, and it's going to require painting to fix it properly. Now if you don't sand enough, then you're going to see some trace of the scratch, and this really just comes with experience. I can't really tell you how much to sand out before you break through. I guess once you kind of lose the orange peel look, maybe it could give you some sort of indication that you're running out of space. But you know, experience is really the biggest factor here. Either way, you are impairing the UV protection in that area where you've been sanding. Once the sanding is complete, you should have a hazy kind of look over the area where you ran your sandpaper over, and the polisher is going to bring the shine back up. So the first step we're going to do is go over it with a coarse cutting compound. I'm using a 3M system, and that's a 3M wool pad on there with their extra cut compound. You could use a composite foam pad as well. I just chose to use the wool here. Now you can use any system you like. Most companies are going to have between 2 to 3 polishes and maybe 2 to 3 pads as well. And the general idea with polishing is you're gradually going to a finer and finer compound, refining the scratch to make it less coarse and less visible, and bring the gloss back up. Now after you go over it with the coarse compound, you need to wipe it down and switch to something finer. I'm going to use the swirl mark remover with the black 3M pad. Now I could take it one more step here and switch it to the Ultra Fina compound, which is kind of like a bit of overkill on this particular job. This will show you the basics of getting a scratch out. The Ultra Fina is going to give you like a showroom gloss that really isn't required at this point, but if you wanted to take it that extra step, you can definitely do that. If you want to see a demonstration of using the Ultra Fina, I do have that on a video I did called Polishing a Black Car. So here is the end result. Now that scratch I couldn't extract completely. Right along that style line, it was a little deeper as I said earlier, and you can still somewhat see it, but you know what you can see here is obviously a significant improvement from what we started with. So I think we're pretty happy with the result we got here. So one for the good guys.